our society, our systems are just not built to adapt for that. And we need some kind of fabric that ties things together and that helps society adapt. Why is the Gen AI Collective, now the AI Collective, particularly well positioned to do this? Something I've noticed over lots of these events over the past 2 years is that people increasingly want ownership over the direction of technology and are somewhat, or are actually very much feeling that ownership is slipping away. And you know, the classic example of this, I was just talking to a VP of engineering at a super well-known blue chip tech company that runs an AI org a couple weeks ago, and you know, he was acting very confident in public, and then in private, he kind of told me, "I'm terrified. I have no idea what's going to happen in a year or in 6 months. I don't know what's going to happen to me, my company, the industry." And this is a guy that most people would say has a lot of influence. So it's really everywhere, this feeling of kind of eroding control. Number two is you know, we increasingly saw that the whole of ideas among people that we were talking to at events is greater than the parts. So what does that mean? We have a lot of technical people out here in San Francisco that are building things. They have no idea what the hell they're building towards. I mean, you know, respectfully, you know, I'm sorry to, they're just building. The car is moving. We have people in DC that understand how technology affects society, but they have no idea what technology is being built or how people are using it. And then we have people in other countries and around the world that are doing similar things. And there's this need for increased kind of collaboration. And what we saw in, you know, different events, talking to different types of people, is that if you take the arguments and the experiences that individuals are having, and you combine them into a story, it's a very different story than something that you can tell with any of those. And you know, the last kind of impetus for this change is around us, right? The rebranding is, my hope is that it takes us from an organization where you think about us as, oh, they do great tech events. I mean, we do pretty good events. But you know, to an organization that is really known for helping society adapt to the increasing pace of technological progress. So that's a little on the motivation for the Institute. How are we actually planning on doing this, and what are we hoping to achieve? Well, we mentioned this earlier, but I profoundly believe that openness and collaboration is going to result in positive outcomes for the development of technology. And you know, I like to use the past 100 years as the example there. If you look at every major technological platform shift, the internet, cybersecurity, nuclear power, increased openness and collaboration has always led to good things, and the reverse is also true. You know, we have the internet, for example, SSL, TLS. We have x86 for computing. We didn't collaborate well for nuclear power, and because of that, we don't have widespread nuclear power. These are all revolutions that were not as consequential for the world. We absolutely have to get this right. We absolutely have to crack openness in this one. You know, the second thing that we're trying to do with the Institute is to take the conversations that we're having at events and translate them into meaningful action items for decision makers. So heads of companies and heads of state can come look at us or things that we've done and actually feel like they're making informed decisions. Our ultimate KPI, this is you know, very ambitious, but our ultimate KPI with the Institute is that global levels of trust just show a little bit of an uptick. That'd be pretty nice, right? No more of those depressing Gallup polls or whatever you showed. So that's a little bit on what we're hoping to achieve. And then how can you guys get involved? This, you know, obviously is the big CTA here. I am proud to announce that we are launching a fellowship for the Institute. It's going to be called the Signal Fellowship.